Let's bring in Doug Gottlieb, the Duggar, Fox Sports Radio after my show. And so, we were talking about, listen, baseball doesn't have a salary cap. Everybody else does. So, you and I both know you pay your stars. There are two quarterbacks in the league. They're blank check guys. I'm going to give Mahomes, here's the check, filled out. I've always felt that way with Russell Wilson. Leadership, toughness, doesn't get hurt, good in big games, great on the road. I don't have a third. Now, I think there's a bunch of guys that get close to, but Aaron Rodgers did not last couple of years, looks a little old. Deshaun Watson, I like him, don't love him. Lamar's never won a playoff game, don't like playing
Hold on. I want to, can we take a breath on the Aaron Rodgers doesn't look great? How did Patrick Mahomes look the first 3 quarters of football?
Pretty average.
Average?
Kept his team in the game, though.
No, he didn't. Jimmy Garoppolo kept his team in the game. He had, 2 fumbles and 2 interceptions? That did happen, right? And what happened with Aaron? How did Aaron Rodgers look in the first half against the exact
couldn't score?
Well, they're playing against that defense. Nick Bosa was the best player in the football field Sunday, right?
Yeah, he was a great player.
So if we both agree Patrick Mahomes is a great player,
yeah,
we both agree,
yeah,
and that's a great offense, and he looked completely disheveled,
yeah,
not like himself at all through 3 quarters.
Yeah.
And Aaron Rodgers, we both agree. Whether you think he's still a great player right now, he's an all-time great player, right?
Yes.
The correlation is the Niners defense is legit. They made both of those guys look like subpar quarterbacks. So, but your point...
There's not many blank check guys in Dak. What do you...
Well, look, it's negotiation.
Right.
All of this stuff is negotiation. Dak is going to get a contract, but the only play the Cowboys have is the leverage of, all right, we'll franchise tag you,
Right.
And if we can't come to a deal, you play on the franchise tag, and guess what? We can franchise tag you again.
Right.
And if you don't like that, we can transition tag you. 3 years. That's what happened.
Right.
They'll get a deal done, but I agree with you. It's the idea of, are you going to pay him above Carson Wentz money? And, look, Jimmy Garoppolo was paid top dollar. He's not worth top dollar.
Right.
Jared Goff was paid top dollar. He's not worth top dollar. So you got to be very cautious. And the Dallas Cowboys can sit there and go like, hey, we got a great offensive line. We got great skill position players. And this guy couldn't beat any of the good teams.
Doug, I was saying there are moments, that Philadelphia game, when Carson Wentz throws for 320 yards to deck chairs.
Yes.
And then that was a moment.
Yes.
And Jerry flies home, 3-hour, 50-minute flight, Philly to Dallas, and he's thinking, my guy had the better O-line, the better running back, the better receiving core. We couldn't score a touchdown against an average defense. I think that moment, it kind of crystallizes your fears.
Right, and the only leverage that Dak Prescott has against the franchise tag is, well, I'm not showing up. and look, eventually this will get worked out, but I do think it's really interesting, when people say like, well, we want Jared Goff money. Well, the Jared Goff contract's a bad contract. I think the Garoppolo contract's interesting. I think like Skip's point is really interesting, where they can buy him out. $4 million for him to walk away, and that's only a couple years into this thing.
You would let him walk away?
I would consider it if I can get Tom Brady. Tom Brady makes that throw on third down.
Oh Lordy, you would give up Garoppolo for Brady.
Look, we can go back and point out that Kyle Shanahan, when they're down 3, chooses to not run the football. After on first down, they run for 17 yards. But if you watch the totality of the fourth quarter, Jimmy Garoppolo was not good enough to win that game. You cannot lose a game as a quarterback, okay, and miss the throw. He didn't miss by this much. The third down throw where he's a touchdown pass, he missed by a country mile. Nobody does that. The top quarterbacks make that throw. Okay, on third down, third and 5 on the previous drive. He's got arguably the best tight end in football open. He doesn't even see him because he's so flustered by the blitz. He's not playing against the Niners defense. He's playing against the Chiefs defense.
But the Chiefs defense was much better week 12 on. It was a real defense.
No. And I thought Steve Spagnuolo did a very good job. I thought, Chris Jones' 2.5 deflections, those changed the game just as much.
One of them was huge.
Big. But we would all point out, there's a second down play. They have the ball with 9.5 minutes to go. Have the ball up 10 and lose the game, okay? And lose the game, and they don't score in their last 4 drives. And by the way, good luck repairing that relationship, because no matter what Kyle Shanahan says in the press, in the offseason, they got the ball back. Should have been 1:30 to go in the first half. John Lynch, who I think we all believe, like, it's not me or you or Joy or Tui, calling timeout.
I saw that.
It's John Lynch, who played in the NFL, should be a Hall of Famer, will be a Hall of Famer, is the top GM in the league, and he's sitting there going, all right, timeout. Easy call, right? They don't call a timeout. They get the ball back under a minute to go. Do you know the last time we saw that? We saw that in Jacksonville 2 years ago in the AFC Championship game. That's Blake Bortles stuff. Remember, the Jaguars are up against the New England Patriots, and they get the ball, 58 seconds to go in the first half, full boat of timeouts, and they take a knee. That's telling the world, I don't think Jimmy G's got it. I don't believe in him. And then Jimmy G.
I am on an island because I like you. I don't think he's.
I like him, but
I
like,
would not.
Look, dude, you can fool me. We can fool you. We can fool fans. You cannot fool players. And the players have to be sitting there going like, are you kidding me? Emmanuel Sanders is open. That's a historically great play call. Perfect situation, perfect setup. He's open. You didn't come close.
Yeah, but Jimmy G won in New Orleans late. He
won one game.
Well, he's 7-2. He's 7-2 in primetime games. He's played well in primetime games.
Look, I was a buyer into Jimmy G, but you see him on the. It's called competitive greatness. That's what Patrick Mahomes has. Can you play great when greatness is called upon? Patrick Mahomes played a crummy game. He did. He was not good. He's not the MVP. Damian Williams is the MVP. But whatever. He makes the throw to Tyreek Hill. It's a little behind him, but he's under duress because here comes Bosa. He makes the throw on the money to Sammy Watkins. He makes the right throws at the right moments. And if you look at him on the sidelines, he's showing great leadership, and he kept that team together. Competitive greatness. And look, it's a small sample size, but Jimmy G not only doesn't feel like he has it based upon his performance, there's a second down play where, Kansas City's got 10 guys in the box. You check out of it and you throw the football. He didn't because he was out of sorts. He was so nervous about the moment. He didn't have the competitive greatness that Patrick Mahomes had, that Tom Brady has, that Aaron Rodgers had. The top level, you either have or you don't have. And at 28 years old, on the biggest stage in American sports, he didn't have it.
Let me ask you about Brady because we just brought this up. March 18th is the new NFL year for the accountants, right? So if New England, they'll pay Tom before March 18th because it lessens the cap hit significantly.
Correct.
But that means Tom will have to trust Belichick to draft a speed receiver. He doesn't, or spend money on him. He won't, because he's gotten so much out of Edelman at $5 million. So here's the thing.
Okay.
Do you take the money if you're Tom? Is the money that big of a deal that you have to literally trust they get a guy at White? I was told by two Patriot employees, money matters.
This is about money with him. It's not about, look.
He wants speed.
You can, of course he does. You can question Belichick's drafting, okay? Because N'Keal Harry does not appear to have it as of yet. Okay, he was hurt.
He can't separate.
And he's lost, and he can't separate. But they did have Josh Gordon. They did have Antonio Brown, right? He had good enough players. Just both of those guys imploded, and they had to get rid of both of them. Okay, I would guess that's still a play. Greg Olsen and the Carolina Panthers just parted companies. Can you tell me there's a smarter, better, potentially Hall of Fame tight end that's out there? You draft a tight end and you have him as a tight end, and boom, now you got your two tight ends back. Yes, you can acquire a wide receiver. They made a bad decision midseason. Emmanuel Sanders was traded for less than what they got Mohamed Sanu for. They made a bad call, okay? But they still won 12 games. They're still in the AFC East, and he's not. I don't believe he's going to work in a place that he's never been before for a coordinator who's never called plays with him before. That just doesn't make sense. You don't do one thing for 20 years one way and then go, hey, at the end of my career, I'm going to do it completely different.
It's hard.
I think this is about money and nothing else. Money and respect and years of guarantee.
By the way, I watched the Miami Heat destroy Philadelphia last night, and we only got about a minute and a half, 2 minutes left here, Doug. I have never thought Simmons and Embiid work together. I think they're both immature. They both want to be the man. I think Simmons is best when the lane is clear. Philadelphia, though, if you give up Embiid, who defends Giannis? That's why the Celtics want Capella. Somebody's got to be, you have to have a forceful defender. So I look at Philadelphia and I say to myself, this doesn't work. It's good, but it doesn't work. You run Philadelphia tomorrow, Embiid, Simmons. You can get a haul for Embiid. I don't know if there's a right answer. What would you do?
Look, Embiid has historically great talent.
No question.
Like, people don't. It's like the Shaq conversation. Was Shaq skilled? Like, no. But there's never been a man that big who's that fluid an athlete.
Totally agree.
This guy has the skill and is big and is fluid. The problem is I don't know the medicals. I don't know. There's got to be a reason he can't be consistent. Last night, you chalk it up to the South Beach flu.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
They play in Orlando on Saturday.
Yeah.
They play on Monday. They get blown out. I mean, what do you, I'm still recovering from Miami. I went out one night. Right? So
Everybody but Joy is recovering from Miami. She's used to it.
Because she's in her town. She's like, give me some more of that Miami stuff. That recharges me. I chalk that up to South Beach flu. But look, Embiid is the historically great talent. I'm still concerned about the medicals and the up and down. Simmons, I like that he said we didn't have toughness. I liked it, but he can't shoot, and it's become a shooter's league. I'd probably hang on to Simmons because he's been hurt less, unless I saw some medical reason that told me that Embiid is fine, is sound. It's a really hard problem. They went for it over the last 2 years, and this is the problem when you go for it, and these guys are both going to want to get paid, and it's going to be harder to put the ancillary pieces around them.
Doug Gottlieb, the Duggar, Fox Sports Radio after our show. Good seeing you, buddy. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.